Recording in progress. What's up,
Mm.
dude? Getting the right angle.
Yes, just getting the right angles, but
Yes. How's actor's life
Okay.
treating you?
My man, it's been a crazy week.
No shit. What's going on?
Yeah. Little this, a little that, as always. Some kind of like just big moves.
Big moves. Money moves?
Yeah, some good things. It's good in general. For what? So I told you I left the Rose restaurant.
No, you didn't tell me you officially left. That's crazy.
Okay, yeah, that happened.
Bro, that wasn't a full week ago, was it? It couldn't have been because I think we met last Wednesday and I think you were like thinking about it, but I don't think you actually did it.
It's crazy. Yep. Went in, kaput. Sounds like a midlife crisis, but there's that. Then I also parted ways with my manager.
Wow, dude.
Big, yeah.
Wow.
Big.
A lot of attrition this week. That's crazy.
Yeah, the battle. Not the war, just the battle this time. Which I feel really good about. Like it's just something that, she did a lot of great stuff for me, but it was just like,
how long have you been with that manager?
Probably 3 years.
Wow, dude. I mean, you kind of know after 3 years, if it's not a good fit.
You definitely do. And it's good for a lot of things. But it was just an important thing. So
what are you looking for in your next manager that you didn't feel like you were getting in this manager?
Just to gel better, me and them. We need to like have a little bit of a dynamic that's like that I work better with. Her style of like energy was kind of I don't know. I honestly just didn't really feel that comfortable with it after.
Well, the only intel we got on the show is like apparently she advised that you take like you pay for like a $300 tutoring like class thing for every single audition.
Yeah, she would rationalize it as like, hey, these things aren't that expensive and you can find ones. She's not wrong, but it was more and I take away the positive criticisms that she gave me in a way that I'm going to dedicate myself even more than ever now. Like it's going to be even more tangible, but there's just like little details and stuff, and so I'm looking forward to now. I have my agent, and I'm going to be getting a new job as well.
Do you have an agent before, or is this new?
No, I've had an agent as well simultaneously. The same amount of time. Sovereign, and they're awesome. So, they get me great auditions, so nice and supportive.
One could argue the value of like, if you have a great agent, do you need the manager?
I don't right now. I need a manager.
Yeah. And then what? You're saving like 5%, 10%.
True too. Yeah, financially. But so by the way, in addition, I started looking for new jobs in general, what to do. And my parents kind of gave me the advice, my mom specifically, of like, you don't need the restaurant industry. Look for like a personal assistant / nannying full-time job. And so I did that, had a great interview today with these people in Malibu. Lovely. And the hours would be perfect. So it could be a great thing.
Are they set hours? Is it flexible? What's the situation?
Good question. It's flexible. No weekends generally. It'd be kind of like from midday to 7.
Are most auditions like morning, or do they just vary?
Generally auditions, I told them this too. You get like a couple days to do them. So yeah.
They're mostly all self-tapes at this point.
Yeah. And yeah, right. It's awesome.
You don't have to rush from like the Valley to Santa Monica just to hit these like formal auditions anymore. That doesn't happen.
I don't know how they would have done it back in the day. I don't know how I would have done it. It's funny. I always think of these things like my experience in the film industry seems so like I'm in such a bottle that if I were to be in other people's shoes, I'm like, I probably definitely would not do it. And then secondly, I'm like, my situation, even I've had enough little wins that it's encouraged me to keep going.
Yeah.
And I wonder if other people ever felt that way. I know my dad like pursued it because he was a big star as a kid and stuff. He had a lot of success. So he's like, you know, I'm going to keep doing it. Same thing in sports. I think it's like, why would you want to be a pro athlete unless you're so confident, you know, so like successful that would let that counter against having a normal career that's a better business. But for me, I'm like, so funny. It just depends what does it for you. Also, I think something that's going to allow me to continue a film career is doing well in other things too. I'm excited about this clothing business, which clothing business isn't easy either, but I feel like I really have a fortunate idea. I'm like so thankful for it. So
dude, we're on the exact same wavelength about a lot of this shit. Cause the stuff that I wanted to bring up is basically the exact same. Like starting with that, this is the hardest fucking pursuit in the world. Like acting, directing, like being a full-time one of those is like virtually, it doesn't make sense. It's like you have to have a reasonable degree of unreasonability. You know, I quoted that from somewhere, I forget who, but you have to be like in somewhat, you have to be like a little bit delusional, like in a healthy way, because the odds are so stacked against you. And I think what you said is so true about having those like little wins and like keying into those, because I've had the same experience with my stuff. It's like every few months, like one video will pop off, and that's like enough of a win to continue to propel forward.
Yeah.
And also what you're saying about being good at other stuff. I just came back from this trainer that I've been working out with for like the last few months, and just having that other thing outside of the industry where I go in there, no one like gives a fuck about the industry. Like everyone there, like they're completely outside of it. And but that's now like a huge part of my life, because I have to like I have to keep at it in order to like be at the level I have to be when I go in there every week. So it's like just being able to have stuff in your life that makes you more well-rounded, which is what we always talk about. You're way better at that than I am. But dude, it's like a complete game changer, especially for pursuing something so tough.
What is this training situation? Is that recent? You just have a workout trainer, or what's it?
Yeah, it's been like the last like 3-4 months, and I've been doing it every week. And it's like he's got his own gym, and just having that thing every week, it's kind of like this, man. Even though I tried to dip last week, having this podcast that's like completely separate from, like, we're talking about it and stuff, but it's like it's not the thing, you know what I mean? Having all these other things in your life that like makes you more well-rounded just supports the thing. It doesn't take away from it, because you end up having depreciating results if like 24/7 you're just going at that thing, because you're just going to get burnt out. You have to have more of a lower life.
There's definitely something to be said for that. I think it's also not all black and white. You know, sometimes your day job can genuinely take away from your main focus, your main career path. But I think it's like a classic ironic situation that even though you're going away from what your career passion is, sometimes just going to a day job will mindfully help you by getting your mind off it and doing that.
Expand on what you said before about like you feel like someone in like a different situation would give up on the thing, because I thought that was really interesting.
I do too. Thank you for that. Because I truly do. Because I'm kind of impressed with myself in a sense. I think it's a little bit of like a self-flattering. Like one time, for instance, and I think this was kind of cool of her to say. I'm not throwing shade or anyone under the bus. This was like she's kind of giving me a compliment, but also she just likes to like, you know, think out loud sometimes. She probably wouldn't let me say it. My stepmom one time, who's an actress, a very successful actress. She's like, but she's, trust me, had her knocks, as everyone who's been in the industry, you know, that way has. She said, this is like 4 years ago, probably, like before I was in a really good acting class, like loving it. And before I was like, had really gotten anything with my new manager and agent and stuff at the time and stuff. Before I was really auditioning, she goes, dude, I mean, if this, it just doesn't seem to really be that easy for you. If it really wasn't working for me too, I probably would have been out a long time ago.
That's like a double-edged sword. Like, is that a compliment? Is that
I knew exactly what she meant. I didn't take it in a negative way at all. It's just like she was saying that, hey, it could work out for me. It was kind of a compliment in saying that, like, hey, you're pretty like resilient. She probably doesn't even remember saying it. But
some shit
for me also, it was a little bit of like I knew for myself that I had sort of an awkward start to it.
Yeah.
Probably a lot better than some, but not as good as others that came from like kind of families that were already in show business and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was psyched out of, creative stuff for a bit. And I would ask my parents like questions about even creatively, like how, oh my gosh, how do you even like do it? Like, even after drama school, I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I wasn't feeling like good at what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. And so it's just funny that after that, then I've had tangible wins that if I go back to them and those experiences that I had on that Netflix set, even on the Lifetime movies I did, those were big parts in both Lifetime movies I did.
Yeah.
Having fun on short films with you.
Yeah.
Writing, casting, doing sketch comedy, booking my own improv shows myself at places like community theaters to perform at, writing my own like stand up, doing all that stuff. If I think about how big of deals those were to me at that time, and then that I got through to do it, that, thinking about those moments inspires me like that, hey, this is all part of a plan in a, kind of a spiritual sense.
Dude, do you know how fucking proud you're going to be of yourself when you actually get to the place that you have always dreamed of, that you thought was impossible, and then you can connect the dots? Because then you can look back and be like, yo, holy shit, like that kid version of me like actually stuck through all of those years when like so many people fall off. It's like I got a text from my girlfriend's mom today because I let her know that, because we're shooting something at her place in like a couple weeks. And I let her know that we have like another makeup artist for this thing because we had to like, the other one wasn't working out. And she was like, your hustle is unmatched. And once you get to that place, you should like write a book about like your whole experience of like being in all this shit. It's like, we're in it right now, bro. You and I are.
This isn't far from it. Doing this podcast, like taking track of
100%, bro. We're logging everything, which is great.
We are logging. And my goal is to be a producer of like just great bodies of work all across, whether it's acting, writing, whatever it might be, for futuristic stuff. So I just want to be a storyteller. And so I think it's really funny that we're able to do this, and that
totally.
Who knows where it'll go, type of thing.
Dude, you wouldn't be able to not do this thing. Like whatever creative pursuit that you do, like there are some people who most people have the mind of like, they go to their 9 to 5 and then they go see their kids and like watch some movie or whatever, and then they go to sleep. Like that's the lifestyle of a lot of people. There are definitely people who are living that, who like wish they could be creative and stuff, but like, there's it's a like small percentage of the population that like when you are in it and you understand it and you have that mindset, then you can't not do this thing. So it's like, it can be like the hardest thing in the world, but just the fact alone that like we wouldn't be able to not do it, it's like we're going to be in it regardless, no matter how long it takes. So
yeah, people do say that. They're like, if you only do it if you can't imagine yourself doing anything else.
I mean, that's true in my situation. How do you feel about that? Like any kind of creative thing though for you? Like, because I think like, yeah, you do a lot of different things, but you're always creative. I feel like you wouldn't be able to like just not be creative, right? You need some kind of outlet.
Yeah, ever since I was a little kid, I thought it'd be the coolest thing to kind of make stuff that you get to interact with other people. And I like whether that was clothing, whether that was being part of a company. But I genuinely, I think business can be creative and stuff. You know, I'm very entrepreneurial and stuff. And I think acting for me, look, when I did that Netflix job and it was one scene, basically, I had the best experience ever on set. You know, it truly is icing on the cake. Like, it's so fun and creative and goofy. You're in front of everyone doing this pretend. It's pretty unreal. Do I think it's the end all and be all? I do not, and I don't think you should rely self-esteem on, hey, how well you do in that.
No, however, no. Self-esteem shouldn't be tied to it. Yeah,
it shouldn't, and I don't think it should be tied to any of the stuff, frankly. But I do think, and I think it's out of your control. But I think that for me, it's something that I chose, and it's just one of those things. You pick your battles. I think this is a battle worth picking for me, and I will continue being positive and have my scoreboard so that I'm not some crazy old person like that's succeeded in the ways I want to, but still dissatisfied.
Yeah,
like, I think the healthy dissatisfaction, like, what's the word? Healthy.
I know what you're going for.
Satisfied, like, to want to still, like, you know, lean into your career, but I think that I'm going to still be happy outside of my career.
Yeah, it's important to maintain that
peace.
And you're good at that. Also,
I'm gonna try to do it. Yeah.
Well, what you're saying about like being on set too, man, that is such a like rare experience that a lot of people don't get to have. And you get it. You just explained it. Like being on those sets, I get it, bro. Like there are certain moments that you're on set and you're in this like flow state. And it's like the most absolutely like creatively fulfilling thing that you can do. But the thing is, bro, getting to,
by the way, I got a side note. You and I both know what we're doing. You in the biggest way, because you're the director, you're setting the tone. That's a whole nother rush. But I'm at the point where it's like, I know I'm gonna swing for the fences, bro. Yep. But there was a point where I didn't necessarily know how to do that. My stepmom was right. She was like, at a certain point, I was a little lost and stuff, and I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what stuck. Yeah. But like now, it's amazing. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I like how your stepmom doesn't hold back. She's like, dude, this is how it is, bro. But being on,
she's not the only one, bro. My whole family. yeah, I'll tell you that.
But being on set, though, it's such a rare experience that a lot of people don't get to have. But it's so hard getting to set. Getting to set is like, especially for you, like I can like create my own experiences or whatever, like make my own projects. But dude, even that, getting all the pieces into play, like I have 2 shorts that are coming up that like this coming weekend and then the following weekend, getting everybody on board, getting the locations, getting all this shit together. It takes so much work, but like, it all ends up being worth it because it's like, yeah, it's so much shit getting there. But once you're in it and you're on set, there's always at least one moment where I'm on any set where I'm like, holy shit, like this is the most fun I've ever had, you know?
Oh, yeah. I also think writing too, when you're collaborating and stuff's flowing, and it's a cool process when it works. The creative process, like making music too, it's all pretty great. You're convinced you would not want to do anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm definitely more like one track minded than you. But as far as like directing horror, I've been doing it since I was like 10 years old, you know? So it's like the thing that's deepest down, that's ever since I was a kid, where I'm like, it just comes most naturally. I love doing it. I'm really good at it. So it's like, yeah, man, that's the thing.
I think that's healthy too, to know that like in a positive way, to not let it like ruin you, but then also to
there's a fine line.
There's a fine line. I think that's just something to just strive for goodness. Like, and that's not easy, but maybe it's just a goal. But with that said, it's lovely that you really see yourself being able to do that. It's amazing. That's for one. And then 2, what type of horror stuff were you doing when you were a little kid? Like, how are you creating that?
Yeah, man, I would get the neighborhood kids, because there was a graveyard that was at the end of our street, and I would just like get my neighbors to like come with me and like shoot some stuff with my little camcorder, and we do like
Great, baby.
zombies and shit. Yeah.
Pre-Vine.
Pre-Vine.
Probably not by much, but yes, pre-Vine.
Yeah, Vine was even like a little old school for me. Probably you too, right? Aren't we the same age? You're a little older. You're like
a little older. Like my brother was doing Vines. He made a couple hilarious ones. It must have been
was huge.
11. Vine was huge. I loved it. I mean, similar to TikTok now, but like
yeah,
not as many. Like,
can you imagine like if we would have started a YouTube channel like in 2005?
Beginning, I know.
But again, that's one of those things that you like can't plan or whatever. And it's like the same as like TikTok, like Charlie D'Amelio got in on TikTok when it was not cool, when like no one was on it. She was like too old for it or whatever. And then it just spiked.
How about the girl I went on a few dates with, Tinks, who's like she's just like an advice column. She make these funny videos. She's massive now, does videos with Gwyneth Paltrow, has her own dish at Chipotle. She has her own dish at Chipotle. And
oh shit, are you kidding?
Yeah. No.
Bro, that's like the peak. Like forget anything else. Having your own bowl at Chipotle, that's everything.
Yeah. Like it's definitely like a super secret bowl or something that you have to request, and she's got her own smoothie at Erewhon.
Were you with this girl like when all this stuff was popping, or was it right before?
Right before, but like she's very funny, very talented. She like did a little thing on me. She would blog about me in a joking way because she'd blog about everything back then. Nice. Yeah, it's just hilarious.
So she was like into that whole thing kind of before it was cool, or like before it was taking off.
I think she was one of those people that at the beginning of the pandemic started doing it and it took off, and then she just hasn't stopped. And her whole thing is like oldest person on TikTok, but she's 30.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's funny.
You ever order that bowl now?
I ordered her smoothie from Erewhon, and I sent her a picture of it, and she like put it on Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah. Called me Malibu Crush was the title.
Malibu Crush.
Run with that one.
Love it.
Got to.
So, dude, tell me more about like this attrition. So, like, you don't have these people on your team now. I think this new gig that you could get could be really, really good for you. I'm really happy with my gig. I've been at it for like 4 years, and it's a remote position that's super chill, and everyone is like really nice. And it's like, great. So like, I feel like for you though, is this going to be in person, or is a lot of it remote?
It's in person.
Okay. You're going to go to their house?
Yeah. Pick up the kids from camp. Nanny.
I like it.
Yeah. I taught kids acting classes at David Mamet's theater school in New York at Atlantic Theater Company. So I'm good with kids. I liked that a lot. But this is
like kids and you're not annoyed by kids, it's a good gig.
Yeah, totally. Which it probably depends on the kids, but
yeah.
I think the hours seem great for me, and they're flexible. Ain't easy. Nothing's easy, but with the restaurant was heavy, bro. Heavy. So.
Tell the audience why you don't recommend working at a restaurant as an actor, because it's such like a cliche thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like one in the same people.
Like, dude, let me interrupt you real quick before you get into it.
Yeah.
When I was out here, like during the semester, like when I was here for college, it was my junior year, and I went into this deli, like this Jewish deli, and I like ordered all this food. And the waitress comes over and she's like, oh yeah. And like, I kind of overhear her like talking about acting or whatever. And I was like surprised. I was like, wow, like you're an actress. And she thought it was hilarious how like surprised I was that she was an actress. And she was like, honey, we're all actors here. And like everyone turned around. They're all like, yeah, like we're actors. So it's like everyone in LA who's a waiter, you can expect for the most
And by the way, I found out at my restaurant that there were actors there that I had no idea were actors. I was like, what? Really? And I should have assumed, but it just didn't really seem like them. But with that said, That's not like a slight. It's just strange that I didn't assume that they were. But
they don't say it. Like, how would you know? You know,
I've seen like an actor. I'm doing impressions and stuff. I'm the cliche actor. I'm dancing. I'm like a musical theater kid or something. I'm like dancing on the freaking tables.
Yeah.
I'm cracking jokes to guests and stuff. I'm awful. But I spoke with someone today that they like working at a restaurant.
Oh, they like it?
Yeah. Their restaurant's super chill.
Yeah, it depends on the environment.
Depends on the environment. Like both ones that I've been at have been absolute chaos and really just like toxic places. Some people like the craziness, but same thing.
It's the vibe. It's like the culture, you know. It's because there can also, I'm sure there are remote positions that are like brutal that you would never want to have. Like I talked to this one girl who she's working at like a bank or something in a remote position, and they track like the amount of time that you're moving your mouse or whatever, because then that shows that you're like on the computer all the time. And it's like Big Brother is watching over your shoulder and that kind of stuff. It's like, you know, and also you have to log like every 15 minutes what the tasks that you've completed. And so it's just like,
that's a start. I guess that's understandable. It's annoying, but it's understandable because they're at this point with tech, right, where they're trying to figure out like how do we not just have our employees like surfing Facebook all day.
Yeah, but I do think that, and this is how I would run my business too, like my production company is like, if I give you a task and you're able to complete it throughout the day, like it doesn't matter to me if you're like at your computer 9 to 5, you know what I mean?
But there's probably not always a specific task. Probably not always a specific task to do.
That's true. I think there should be. Shouldn't leaders give like specific tasks so people are clear about what they should be doing?
That's complicated. I remember the car dealership I worked at, the reception person was on the computer all day, but they were allowed to do their homework when they weren't answering calls and stuff. So it's all good. Are you watching anything interesting at the moment?
No, but I heard of something that I really want to see called The Watcher or just Watcher. And the girl, it's a horror like thriller film. My sister recommended it. The reason I'm excited about it is that girl, I think her name's something like McKay Marone or something. She's like a dream actress. If she ever hears this, like the fact I don't know her name, she's like the #1 person I want to work with. She was a girl in It Follows. Did you see that movie? The blonde girl?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Dude, she's unbelievable, like unreal. And I saw just the trailer, bro. Like she was made for horror films, dude, because like, and I'm finding this more and more, the actors that you have and actresses you have in like horror is so important because like they carry all of the emotion of the thing. And that's exactly what the audience is going to feel. So this girl is so fucking good and open with her emotions that like she registers on her face like every moment of panic or like terror. And she seems so vulnerable. And I feel like that, like, she's a perfect representation of like what you want as a lead in a horror film.
Sounds like a normal chick to me. Typical bro comment there.
Yeah.
Just vulnerable and open and leaves the emotions in the face. Shocker. No, yeah.
You just lost our entire female audience.
Yeah. Just cut down 60%.
Yeah.
Mostly a female-led audience. No, I'm obviously kidding. She is amazing. I've seen her. And oh dude. Well, all right. So that's
what have you seen? Watch. That was a wreck of something I haven't seen, but I'll definitely by next week.
I'll check that out. I just started watching the Jeff Bridges show. The old man. The old man.
I heard he's great in that.
Dude, he's so good. He's so intense, but it's well directed. Like really, there's a lot going on. It's the classic setup of him, like ex-CIA guy. Of course, he was like so good at his job, but he chose the wrong side in a war. You know, I don't know. But and him going against like his classic friend slash enemy John Lithgow of the CIA.
Bro, you might have wrecked this before. Is this a role where he's like cool, but he has depth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't they always? Don't they always?
Cool, but
yeah.
depth. So not like a stereotypical, like cut off every like personality trait, be like a one note, I'm cool. He doesn't do that. There's this intensity, right?
It's just well written, well captured. Even if the formula is there that we've seen before, it's just like believable, rich, high intensity. Like this, the guy knows how to make a scene interesting, and everyone in it does. Like, there's this actress, I forget her name, that plays kind of his love interest, and she's just intense too, and like just also earned, and like they're not projecting, they're not like trying to show, it's just all like shocking. I don't know. Dude, it works. It's a rich story. It's a great story. So they're just bringing justice to it.
Don't you think that like one of the ultimate highs that you can have as an actor is like working with someone like that, like having someone like that opposite you? Just imagine how much that would elevate your game, being like, yo, like even starting with the prep, just knowing you're going to be opposite Jeff Bridges. It's like me, like, dude, that's the biggest reward that I'm going to get out of like making it or like breaking through or whatever, like working with talent like that. Because like when you get someone like that on a set, just being able to work with them and knowing what they're putting into their craft and all the years of experience that they put behind them, bro, that must just completely elevate your game.
So I kind of humbly disagree.
Oh yeah? Why is that?
I'm going to hit you with the contrast again.
Go for it.
I think it's because you're a director, even though you studied acting in college and stuff, because you're removed from it in a sense, you're giving so much credit to the people that are in the ring, which sometimes they get no credit. But at the end of the day, I think, you know, and it's not black or white, but you should just be bringing life to that story. And you should be capturing the writing as great as it possibly can be, which obviously you can't disagree with that. But, you know, I think the great actors, not even just movie stars or whatever, they know how to elevate a story, make the scene the best it could possibly be. Yeah, that's great. I don't think there's that much to it. I think like
talking about from like the director's standpoint, working with them, or the actors, or both.
Both. I think it's tough because people think like, how can I get out there and do it? But I also think if you're role playing and portraying it, just memorizing your lines and stuff and doing it, and then yeah, you got to do it in front of everyone. I ain't saying it's easy, but I'm just saying that like I don't know if using one actor versus another actor is that important.
Interesting.
Obviously, there's classic examples of like, oh my gosh, imagine if they casted Ronald Reagan as Don Corleone in The Godfather instead of Marlon Brando, you know? So I think I think he actually passed on it. Something crazy like that. Damn. You know, classic crap like that. How different it would have been. But my point is like, when you're in that category of like, everyone is great actors, they know what they're doing, they're making it good. Yeah, casting differences are fine, but it also comes down to what does the role pertain? You know, what is that image of the character? Who do the writers visualize, and what is the director visualizing too? I don't think that one act, you know, I think when people think of like, oh, this actor's so great, they're thinking of that actor in another role, which is amazing largely because of the writing. True. And that character inspires the filmmaker.
True. Stuff. And then if you're lucky enough as an actor to like get multiple roles that are really well written, like Leo with fucking Departed and Inception.
Yeah. And you still gotta do great. And I'm not saying it's easy. Yes. Well, look at Dustin Hoffman getting not only Tootsie, where he played a woman, but Marathon Man, and very funny, quirky, but also thoughtful. All these things. Al Pacino. These guys, yes, now they have the confidence to just drive these stories home stories home, but look how rich of a story Scarface is and stuff.
So you feel like it really like all comes back to the writing?
I do, and I think really good actors know that too. I think Eric Idle, the Monty Python, he's one of the best. Him and John Cleese, they were talking about now that they're older, more than the acting they want to be known for. And by the way, brilliant actors, they want to be known for their writing. And they love pointing out specific sketches that they really brought to the table because they know what I know, which is that in a certain talent pool, everyone can kind of act. And I think acting gets a little too much fuss over it, frankly.
Wow, it's coming from an actor. I fucking love it.
From an actor.
I wish, love it. Because I agree. Because I agree. And I also want to cut through the bullshit of being a director because they get a lot of the fucking credit. And the thing is, dude, give me the script of The Shining and I make a great fucking movie.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. My uncle did say that one time too. He goes, it comes back to the writing. He's a big director. And he said that.
Wow.
Not taking credit away from any category, but all the fluff needs to kind of, it's so funny when they say, oh, an actor, I can watch them do anything as like an exaggeration, but like,
right.
What are you going to watch? Like freaking, yeah, granted, like a lot of these actors are characters, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. And dude, but bro, you know where I've heard those comments is two examples. One was Kevin Spacey in House of Cards, but look at the fucking script for House of Cards.
Look at the script for that, bro.
And number two is Tom Hardy in Locke, but look at the fucking script for Locke.
Tom Hardy is someone that he starts. I listened to a writer that he worked with, and they're like, he's doing the impression of the character throughout. When it was on that superhero movie he was doing the impressions of both of them. That comes from the writing. In the vision, it might not be written out every single line. It might just be an outline. It might just be an idea. But the point is, what I'm getting at is whether it's the writer, whether it's the director, it's the vision. And then acting is just kind of bringing it to life, which like, yeah, I don't know if it's very easy for everyone to access that. I don't know if it's the easiest thing, but I don't think it's like that revolutionary or like people deserve to be doted over completely,
Dude, this is a really hot take and I'm agreeing with everything you're saying because I feel like, dude, I completely agree with you. And this is making me want to focus a lot more on the writing side of things too. And really
forget action steps out of this. I like it. Dude. Me too completely, bro. Me too completely. There's a reason why movie star actors have also gone to writing after and been like, oh, now I want to get my own stuff done.
100%.
Or they get a producing credit because they came up with a lot of stuff in the room and stuff,
100%. I love that take, bro.
They're both talented.
Anyway. We're nearing our last minute.
We are.
Maybe one of these days we'll have enough to get a pro account.
But Dude, once I cash in on this job, once I cash in on this new job.
Right. That and the Chipotle Bowl. Those are our goals.
That's the goal. Dude, Valley Mentality. We need one more photo. One more photo before we can launch. Oh, glory day.
You need a photographer or what?
I got the photographer. I talked to you last week about it, but she's doing one more photo of it that she needs a little more time on. Like literally might send us it tomorrow.
I'm stoked, bro. I want that sweatshirt. Give me that friends and family discount. Let's make it happen.
We're going to hit you with that $65 sweatshirt opposed to $110, bro. That's that friends and I'm kidding. Dude, coming your way. Get ready.
500. What are you talking about?
Yes, we're going to up the price. Actually.
All right, brother. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. This was really great. Wow. Right? Yeah. See you in the writing bay.
All right. Peace, brother. Have a good week.